Dean Phillips says he's been extraordinarily lucky in his life. His family is unique. Grandmother Pauline Phillips is better known to the world as Dear Abby, the famous advice columnist.
Grandmother is Dear Abby?
Yes, yes.
What was the best advice that she ever gave you?
To be a Democrat. All right, can I tell you a story? Okay, so in 1980, I go to middle school, I'm 11 years old, and who shows up at our assembly but John Anderson? Remember Congressman Anderson from Illinois ran for president as an independent, and I had never seen a presidential candidate before. So he makes a speech, he talked about money in politics and the need for independence in Washington, which little did I know how important those would become in my life so many years later. So we had dinner as a family that night. Our great-grandparents, our grandparents, my parents, my brother, and me. And I'm seated next to my grandmother, Abby. And she asked about my day, and I said it was amazing because the next president of the United States came to speak to us. And she said, honey, if he's speaking to a middle school this close to the election, I think it might be a problem.
Philip's sister, Hutton, joined him at the diner. He says they both grew up going to summer camp in the Mount Washington Valley.
We both, in fact, our father went to camp in Fryeburg, Maine, right on the Saco, right next to North Conway. I went, was a counselor. Hutton, my brother Jay went, my daughters, 3 generations of our family all went to this tiny little camp on the Saco. What a beautiful way to, spend summer and to appreciate how lucky we are.
He was just 6 months old in 1969 when his father, an Army captain, was killed in a helicopter crash during the Vietnam War.
He earned an ROTC scholarship to attend college, went to the University of Minnesota Law School, served our country, went to Vietnam some months before I was born. He died 2 days after the moon landing, and I think regularly, especially as I started this endeavor, that he would look up and knew that Americans had landed on the moon. Knowing that when he was about 14, that President Kennedy had called for that to happen, and he got to see it. And I would imagine that he looked up and saw, America at its very best, and would look down on the ground in Vietnam and would see us at our very worst. And that's kind of that juxtaposition that in some cases continues to this very day. But that's how my life began.
His mother, widowed at 24, then married into quite a dynamic family. Beyond Dear Abby, Philip's grandfather was a successful businessman. Through generations, they built the Belvedere vodka brand and Talenti Gelato.
We had a great-grandfather, Jay Phillips, who would tell me 2 things in business. He said, it's a means to an end. It's not to collect as much wealth as humanly possible, rather to share as much as humanly possible with both the people and communities. And then he also said that money is like manure. Are you all done eating? He said, money is like manure. He said, Dean, if you stack it up, it stinks. And if you spread it out, it fertilizes. And that's kind of our family ethos.
Phillips moved from business to politics when he successfully ran for Congress in 2018. Washington's culture came as a shock.
I assumed that Nancy Pelosi and Kevin McCarthy would do what we're doing right now. Just get us together at a table, tell our life stories a little bit, get to know each other, break bread, maybe do a ropes course and build some trust. Something with intention to create togetherness and understanding. But my goodness, my friends, on day one, it was systemic segregation.
Before he decided to run for president,
Good morning, New Hampshire.
Phillips traveled to Vietnam to visit the site where his dad's chopper went down.
So we said a prayer, I took some dirt back, and some people asked how it was, and I said, of course it was hard, but where he took his last breath, I really took my first. And in no small part, I have to tell you, very much gave me the courage, I think, to do what I'm doing right now.
There's only one survivor of that crash still living. After years of outreach, Phillips finally got a chance to meet him face to face.
And through a strange twist of fate, I emailed one more time, and a woman replied, Tom Devereaux's wife, Pam, and she said, it's time, and why don't you come to his 80th birthday in Colorado Springs? So just a couple months ago, I went to Colorado Springs, and I got to give Tom Devereaux a hug. Aww. And it was, it was a very important moment for him as much as me. And that's what this is all about.
Oh, absolutely.
It's reconciliation, and I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's what now.
Told us that story.
I haven't told that story to many people, but that's what this whole thing is about, is giving hugs to those who both need them and who are afraid of them. And that's why I'm doing this. Hey. Thank you. Thank you. That means
I'm
a
a
lot.
grandma.